Hi guys, Top Pops here, and in today's video, I'm going to see the Batman. So let's get started. And now this is actually a movie Noah and I have been really excited about because he's got a bunch of the merch already and I've been picking up most of the Funko Pops. And the movie, in case anybody was wondering, starts in just a little while, so I guess we'll see you at the theater. All right, everybody, so we've made it over to the theater. Let's go see the Batman. And now before we go see the movie, we of course have to get some snacks, so we're over at the dollar store. Don't tell Cineplex. And if you're wondering what I'm getting, I've decided on Twizzlers as well as the Reese's Minis. They're pretty good. All right, everybody, we have made it into the theater. Batman is just about to start. Everybody's here. You think Batman's gonna be in this movie? And well, there you go, guys. That was the movie. You can still hear it playing in the background. But before we go back to the office, let's go over to GameStop to see if they have any of the Pops that I'm missing for the set. All right, everybody, so we've made it to the Pop section. I want to show you guys something kind of crazy. So far, it looks like, like just normal figures. But then as we get a little bit higher, I don't know how this happened. A Chase Selena Kyle is right here. And if you guys want to check it out a little bit closer up, here is the Selena Kyle. Like, seriously, it is crazy how coincidental this is. And then above that, we've got Batman in Batmobile, which I do have, but we'll do closer up shots of that when we get back to the office. And then I think for Batman, that seems to be about it. Well, Nate, we are back from the film.
Yes, we're back.
I'm pretty excited. I also got all of these figures today, and I know not every single one of these is Batman, but we'll go through them quickly. And I guess we'll start with this one because it's already out.
So we do have the Walt Disney World 50 castle.
Yes.
That's pretty nice. And the little Mickey character in it's pretty cool.
There's a bit of a controversy with this one here, and I'm not going to go too into detail today. We can talk about this in another video, but they literally just elongated the Disneyland castle.
Ooh, okay.
I know. It's not great, but I do still really like this one. That's why I wanted to pick it up. I'm trying to get all of the Walt Disney 50th ones, so I figured, hey, I might as well get it while I can. And then after that, we have another not Batman one. I'm going to build up to the Batman figures. This one here is Jordan Peele, and actually, technically, we could say this was part of the movie because we did see one of his trailers before we started, and it was Nope.
For Nope, yeah.
Nope.
I don't know when that's coming. I think it's sometime this summer, but the last couple movies he's made have been pretty good, so
I've enjoyed them.
Probably worth a watch.
Yeah, definitely. And I really do like this figure a lot, and I didn't think that they were going to make a Jordan Peele one, but I'm super excited that they did. And now, actually, I'm looking here, we've got two more that aren't Batman, so I'll just pull them out at the same time. The first one here, actually, Nate, maybe you could talk about it while I'm grabbing the second one here.
What do we got?
First one we've got here is Zuckuss.
Oh, yeah. So
that's a sick one.
So these are the figures that also come with all the other bounty hunters from the scene in Empire Strikes Back. So you can see on the back, but obviously there's Boba Fett, Dengar, and I guess IG-88 too, and does it come with Darth Vader too?
Yeah, the last one is going to be Darth Vader.
Yeah.
It has released, it's just not here in Canada yet.
Okay, yeah, because you can combine them all and make the whole, diorama.
Yes.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
If you guys want to check it out, actually, really quickly, I will show you guys the back of the box. There it is, and I'm super excited about it. I'm hoping that I'm able to get that Batman soon, and I am caught up with it so far. It's just that last one hasn't come to Canada. It might not even have gone to the States, but I have seen maybe one or two people with the set complete, so we're a little bit late here in Canada. And then the last one that we've got here before Batman is Pluto on the People Mover, another Walt Disney World 50th anniversary figure.
Yeah, so looking at this character, obviously similar to Zuckuss, there's obviously a couple figures in this series where you can connect them all and make a People Mover train with a bunch of different Disney characters.
I really like that. And if you guys don't know which ones they've got, it's Mickey Mouse, Pluto, of course, because that's the one we're looking at. We also have Stitch and then Minnie Mouse. And just overall, I am definitely excited about finishing this set. And now, let's get into the ones that we picked up today that are actually from the Batman, because these, I think, are probably the best thing we could have found today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we can start off with the regular Selena Kyle
Sure. Okay, so there she is right there. That is the masked version of her. And also, I do think that in the movie, the masked versus the unmasked isn't really that different. It's kind of like a ripped up beanie.
Definitely cool to have both versions of her, though, and the fact that I guess we can pull it in now.
For sure. Having
the chase, because that was pretty lucky find today.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably going to look staged in the video, but that's where it was.
100% real,
top left corner. When we walked into the store, I saw it immediately, and I don't know how perfect that's going to look on camera. It's almost too perfect, but I'm so glad I was able to grab it.
So now that we have looked at the Pops, I guess we can talk about the movie a little bit.
Sure.
Selena Kyle's character in the movie, Catwoman, not referred to that in the movie, but obviously we both know.
Do they ever call her Catwoman?
Not that I believe, but
I don't remember it.
I don't remember it either.
She does say towards the end, the bat and the cat. So there's that.
Yeah, there is that. But overall, I think her character was really done well. I like just the arc of her story of like basically coming from like a thief. Like that's all you think of her at first, and then you really find out she's a really fleshed out character and plays a large role in the overall plot of the movie with Falcone and his involvement in the whole Riddler scheme.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you want to get onto the rest
Well, hold
of
on, Nate. I've got the package here.
right.
I wanted to open this one up. I've been saving it for the video. I thought it would be fun. We can open it up together. Now, of course, I know which pop this is, but you have no clue.
No clue at all.
So, here. You want to go for it?
Wow. How special am I? Okay,
It's an exclusive that I haven't shown up. I've been saving it for this video. I thought it would be an interesting
If I
one.
pinch this one, it'll hold, right?
No, it's too big. It's just like a box. That was just like a
open.
shipping box. That one was a sorter. You can just open it up like normal.
Oh, that one is pretty cool. Here, we'll
It is a neat one.
take it out lightly here.
Yeah, this one.
So it is the Unmasked Batman.
This is the Pop in a Box exclusive. I ordered this one a little while ago. It came in time for the review. I was actually really pumped about this.
Yeah, and I just noticed he's actually holding his cowl in his hands too.
Yes. There's a lot of detail on this one that doesn't actually happen with the other ones because this is the only figure that has his head sculpt where he's not wearing a cowl.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. And one other thing that I do think is really interesting is that the entire body seems to be different. Like for those ones there, the ones that we're going to talk about in a second, don't pull them out yet. We'll do it like one at a time here.
Okay.
I saw your hand going for it. We
it.
got to build up to these things, you know? But the body seems to be completely different as well as the head sculpt. And I like that Funko is giving companies like this like completely exclusive figures instead of just like a head swap or something. It's nice.
Another thing I think we both noticed on this pop too was the eyeliner he had. Like,
Yes.
I think on like even any other like unmasked Batman figures, it's never been done before. But
Oh,
in
no.
a lot of the cinematic movies, like with Batman, it's he has eyeliner on it just to like make his cowl like fully into his face.
Yes.
But it's cool that they included it on the unmasked figure because in the movie, every time you see him like after he just come off the street or whatnot, it's clearly visible, like all of his eyeliner.
Right. It's a bit odd, actually, in some parts of the film because it's so dark, all you're seeing is his eyes, and it's not even like the full eye, it's sometimes like half of it. It's pretty creepy.
Okay, so I guess we'll move into the pops you've already had from the series.
This one, actually, I just opened up in yesterday's
video,
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool. So this one is obviously the Batman with the grapple hooks coming out of his arms, which we'll talk about. I guess we can talk about the movie first.
No, go for it, yeah.
In the movie, those grapple hooks, he uses a lot. Like,
yeah, it's more than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Usually it's kind of like a gimmick that happens once or twice.
there was a lot of cool shots in there. Like, I think the one when he had just punched Lieutenant Gordon in the face.
Yes.
And he was running away, and he grapples up the stairs. And that was, honestly, I thought that shot was really cool. How it was, like, tracking on him as he zipped up the whole way.
Actually, now that you mention that like 5 minutes after he punched him in the face, there was a lot of things that were going on that I really enjoyed. And this actually took place right after that.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. And with this one here, I was actually talking about it in yesterday's video, like I mentioned a second ago, and I was hoping that this was going to come up in the film more often.
Yeah.
But what probably happens, though, is Funko gets pictures of different suits and they turn them into figures, and maybe they say it's in the movie for not too long, or it is. I'm not sure.
It was in the trailer. It was a pretty prominent part of the trailer, too. But the scene in the movie was... I thought it was awesome.
No, I thought it was great, but I thought he was going to be like gliding around Gotham City the entire time like a flying squirrel.
It was really cool. Like Noah's not here right now, but like we were talking about this. The way he suits up in the glider in the suit isn't like all the other Batmans. He uses his cape almost as a glider. In this movie, he like pulls a switch. I don't know if it was off his utility belt or it was a backpack that he kind of.
It reminded me of almost like an inflatable, like,
100%.
Like what's it called? Not a floaty, but like a life preserver, where it just kind of like popped out of nowhere and zipped it up.
And it was really cool. Like, and then again, similar to the zipline shot, there was a lot of like up close tracking shots as he like zoomed through the city.
Yeah, they did it from like the top of his head, which I thought was really interesting. And then you were seeing it from the perspective of almost like somebody in front of him looking backwards. It was really neat.
Okay, so next up, this one is a tad bigger.
It is a couple inches bigger.
A couple inches bigger, but the box is definitely
massive.
Massive.
Yes.
So this is you were telling me it's the regular Batman sculpt, but just blown up to 10 inches.
I don't have the regular Batman yet. I haven't been able to find it in stores. Didn't see it today. The only one they had today was surprisingly this one right here, the Chase one, as well as the common one, of course, but mainly the Chase one.
So I guess we can kind of talk about his suit in the movie because
sure.
So like just his like specific gadgets and whatnot.
You know, when you're doing that, I'll actually post one out of the box.
Yeah. So like I think one of the most notable things, actually, it's not even with the suit that he used a lot throughout the movie was the little.
Hold on, I gotta pause there for a second. There's tape on this one. I haven't cut it open yet.
Okay, hold.
No, we can keep it in the video.
Okay. So yeah, I think one of the most notable gadgets that he uses repeatedly in the movie was the little contact lens that he gives. Well, he uses to record like from what you saw, like his day-to-day nights.
A question, before we continue, has that ever happened with any other Batman? Because that's nothing I remember from another
Not that
movie.
I could really remember, but I think that adds a really nice aspect to, like, the detective Batman. Which
Yeah.
I knew coming into this movie, a lot of people were really excited to see that side of him more, almost in, like, the Arkham games, how you have to detect and find certain things. Oh, what's that in there?
This is something that's on the back of most figures, but they added this to the Batman one. It really does
like a little,
work well for the figure.
Well,
I mean, of course, it's made for the movie and, the figure in general.
Yeah, well, especially in the box, I feel like you're going to display this one.
Yeah, I usually do,
well,
with them in the box.
The 6-inch ones, they're not, like, they don't come with this. But I think it's harder to see the cardboard in the 6 inches than this.
It is a little bit, like, I don't think they don't even have them. So this is the only figure that's got them. And it would be really cool if you take, like, the normal size figure here and put it in the front. You can take some really good photos with it. And now here is the 10-inch one out of the box. And I am loving this. And I'm glad that I did end up getting this figure when I saw it, because I haven't seen it since. And I like that they give it, like, it's almost like the exact same sculpt, but it feels like there's more detail on it.
Yeah, definitely. And also, like, the detail on, like, I would say, like, the cowl, too, is,
it's almost like stitched.
With the stitching is, like, a lot more present, because it's just blown up, so it's easier to see. But yeah, overall, I think it's a really nice figure that, like, obviously in the movie, like, Noah was saying this, too, like, these are actually his grapple hooks.
Oh, yes,
that he uses, like, because it makes sense when you say it, like, you're not going to go back and rewind every grapple.
No.
So you've got to reload them. So that's pretty cool, yeah.
Overall, it's just a really well-done figure, and I also like the cape and how they did it. I don't know why. There's something about it where they didn't make a normal Batman just in, like, an arms down to the side pose. They put him in this fight pose, and they didn't give you another version, which I really enjoy. All right, Nate, now do you want to get into the vehicles?
Yeah, so first we have Selena Kyle on her motorcycle.
Yes.
And then we have Batman in his Batmobile.
Right, and I love both of these. And now, I do want to say this. You might not like that I'm mentioning this, but you were a little skeptical about the Batmobile before we saw the movie.
I really was. Going into this, and I mentioned it a lot to you, I was like, I thought that, like, the Christopher Nolan films were going to be super hard to beat, and I still think I hold those films to really high regard.
Right.
But I think this film did a really good in its own sense.
Well, I love the way they introduced it into the movie.
Great. It was, in the back alley, you just hear the revving of the engine.
Yes.
And then it just takes off after that, and, like, there's I know this is a little off topic, but there's the big Lego Technic one that Noah has.
Right.
Has, like, little lights in it. Mm-hmm. The one's blue and the other one's yellow, and I was like, oh, well, maybe that won't work. But in the movie, it's clear, like, the front of it, the engine is like yellow-red, and the back is like a blue flame, so...
And now that you mention that, I do want to say this too. I wish Funko added more to this pop.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to be making a second Batmobile, even though they did for the original 1966 one. They made like 3 or 4 different versions. Like there was a gold one, a blue one, the normal colors, stuff like that. But for this here, I feel like I don't think they're going to make a second one just to add a little bit of orange and the blue coming out of the back, but it would have been nice. And now talking about the Selena Kyle on bike, I remember mentioning this one a little while ago. I wish you could see her face more than it is, because on the glam shot, you can really see her eyes and her eyebrows, and then when you look at the pop, it's so dark it's hard to tell. But when you're watching it in the movie, you can't really see her face anyways.
Right, either. So it's,
it works
I guess
either way.
In that way, it's pretty, realistic to the film. But like in regards to the movie, like she uses this bike a lot, like just to get from point A to B. It's seen a lot in the film, so I guess it's in that way it's good. I'm glad they made a pop of it.
I think most of her scenes, or maybe not most of them, but maybe at least half are her on the bike.
She uses it a lot, like
for sure.
So it's good that they you made a pop of it. So
no, yeah, I really like this one. And now that's all of the figures that I have, but I want to talk about the ones that I don't, because they are some main characters that I probably should have. And if you guys watched my video a couple days ago, I went to a toy con and they had them there. I probably should have bought them. I don't know why I didn't. And if you're curious as to the ones that I'm missing the Riddler.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is
such a cool character in the movie. Like, I really like how they did him. Like, almost as like a Zodiac killer, but like almost like, I know you haven't played the Arkham like Knight in Asylum.
I haven't.
In the game, there's a lot of like Riddler trophies that you have to go around and like solve puzzles to get to. And I thought like with him doing like his little ciphers in the film and like that stuff to get further in his like chase for him to do and like unmask the city, I guess was his goal in the end.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, but I thought that in that sense he was a really cool character in the movie.
I did like that a lot, and also I'm looking at the pop here. He even has his clear glasses on, and then a roll of duct tape being pulled across the front. Yeah, because
after every person he kills in the movie, he tapes their face up and writes a.
It's pretty.
I forget what he specifically says.
It was no more lies. That's what it was. I don't know why I was blanking on that.
Yeah, but it is really cool that they added the duct tape because he does like you see it a lot. Him doing that almost iconic now hand motion of him like ripping the duct tape off.
And duct tape is so sticky too, so it's like him like ripping it and like really angry at it. And then the other big one that I'm missing is the Oswald Cobblepot. And there is a chase for this one as well where he doesn't have his suit jacket on, and I'm hoping that I will be able to get both of those, but if I just get the common, I'll be happy with that one too.
And in the movie, Oswald Cobblepot kind of is like a second fiddle to Falcone in the movie, who's like the big crime boss. But, you know, towards the end, it's going to be clear that he's going to take over the kind of crime empire in the city, and I guess probably in later movies, or even if they're going to try to build a cinematic universe around it, he's probably going to be a bigger player, and this was kind of more setting up as him as the Penguin.
It seemed like it, and if you guys are wondering the other figures that I'm missing, it is the normal Batman, as well as the Target exclusive, and I think that's it. Now, I do want to mention that's not all of the products that we have for the Batman. While we were at the movies, Noah was there, and he decided to pick up every single one of the things that they had. So we got the popcorn bucket. That's almost the size of like a mini trash can. And then we also got 2 cups. And one of them had the Batman on the top, and then the other one had Selena Kyle. And I think they're pretty cool. Especially if you're going to the movies to watch the Batman, you definitely want to have these with you. And now that we've gone through all the pops, Nate, I want to ask you this because I usually talk about this when I do my movie reviews. What's a figure that we don't have yet that you would like to see from the film?
I think one, and I kind of thought about this. It actually, I don't think it ever happens in the movie, or I guess you could do something maybe like an unmasked Riddler, or maybe like a Riddler in like his prison jumpsuit, because you do see that a lot. But I was thinking, like, you don't really see the Riddler in his kind of green suit without his mask on.
No, they don't, like, Scooby-Doo him at any moment in the movie.
But I think that would be a cool figure to have regardless, even if it doesn't happen in the movie.
Right, I think that would be a really great one. Even if it was, like, right at the end of the film. Is that what you're thinking? Kind of like when he's in his jail cell, they have that kind of suit on. Would it be all orange, or maybe it was just him wearing, like, something else?
It was like the prison jumpsuit he had with, like, handcuffs, so...
Okay, yeah, that'd be neat. Yeah, I like that one. And then the one that I was thinking was Lieutenant Gordon, because we literally don't have one of him, and he's a pretty big part in the film. Like, I would say
it's almost like he's like, it's almost like a, I describe the film almost like a buddy cop between, like, obviously not in like a comedic sense. He kind of reminds me of
Robin.
Yeah, he almost plays the role of the sidekick in this film. Like, wherever Batman goes, he's not far behind, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I'd like to see them make a pop of him.
And if they were going to be doing him, I think he should be holding something in his hand, possibly the thumb drive, or they could have him holding, like, for the Batman, like one of those cards that he gets throughout the film.
Yeah.
I think both of those would be great. Now, before we get out of here for today, Nate, final thoughts? What'd you think?
I think overall it was a really good movie. I think if you go into this movie with, like, kind of, you know, expectations of it being, like, beating out, like, maybe even, like, the Christopher Nolan films or something like that, you might leave a little disappointed. But I think overall, great film. I think it was a really nice, unique take on the character. They took a lot of elements from, like, whether it be, like, the comics or even, like, the video games, which I thought was a really nice mesh of medias. Like, I thought overall, yeah, really good film.
Yeah, for sure. And my only gripe with this one was that it was about 3 hours. So I was a little bit worried that it was going to feel long at some points in the film, but it really didn't. Like, I think they carried it along well enough.
They had a good progression of storylines, and there was a lot of things to cover in the film. Like, they had to get through a lot, like, whether it be, like, you know, the Riddler story, and then the arc of Falcone and his involvement with Bruce's parents. Like, there was a lot of stuff to cover, and I think if, you know, it had a different filmmaker, it could have felt a little choppy and maybe slow at sometimes, but I think overall they paced it really well. Right, and instead of it feeling mostly like a superhero movie, it felt almost like a murder mystery in a way. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. Nate, did you want to do the outro today? I don't know if I'm ready for that yet, Tristan. All right. Well, anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you want to see more from both of us in the future, or if you guys want to see Nate on for the next movie review, which seems like it's going to be Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, let us know in the comment section below. But anyways, this has been another episode of Top Pops. Popsters, thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Dripping like a school. On a forward school. Baby gonna school.